celebrating another milestone in our academic journey. We will be recognizing the academic achievement and resilience of every SURP student who bravely marched on towards his or her academic goal, despite the hurdles of the new normal and this pandemic. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I am your host, Leslie Longbowen, and welcome to this year's most awaited virtual recognition rites of the UP School of Urban and Regional Planning. To start the program, let us welcome the faculty members and the former deans of the UP School of Urban and Regional Planning. Please stand as we sing our national anthem. Indeed, we are overflowing with excitement as we celebrate this significant event, especially to our talented students who will be receiving their awards and recognition. Behind every successful student is an institution that is well guided by a responsible and compassionate leader. To formally welcome the candidates for graduation, let us listen to the inspiring words coming from our respected academic leader and the dean of our school, Dr. Hussein Sinsuat Lidasan.
Good afternoon to each and everyone. Thank you very much for coming to this very important recognition day of our students. To our guests, who will be formally introduced, our sincere thanks for accepting our invitation. Faculty, staff, parents, friends, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon once again. We are here to witness the recognition of our graduates who were officially granted their degrees in DURP, Diploma in Urban Regional Planning, MAURP, Master of Arts in Urban Regional Planning, MSRDP, Master of Science in Regional Development Planning, and PhD in Urban and Regional Planning. By the university, through our President Concepcion, and our Chancellor Nemenso, last July 25, you, our graduates, are now among the frontliners of our country in addressing the pressing issues in planning, notably climate change, DRR, or disaster risk reduction, impacts of developments, ensuring high quality of life, or QOL, of the people in our communities, and of equal importance, provision of infrastructure, both physical and social facilities, and how to combat now the pandemics through planning. The theories and tools in planning you acquired will now be your weapons and ammunitions to combat said issues and concerns of development that I just mentioned. Congratulations, and please do continue communicating with us. May God Almighty guide you in your endeavors. Once again, thank you very much, and good afternoon to each and everyone.
Thank you very much, Dean Lidasan, for those inspiring words. This afternoon, we are very fortunate to celebrate this momentous day and recognize the effort, resilience, and persistence of our students to pursue their respective academic degrees. To present the candidates for graduation, let us hear from our esteemed Director for Graduate Studies, Dr. David Leonidas T. Yap.
Ladies and gentlemen, a pleasant good afternoon to all of you. On behalf of our Dean and the faculty of the School of Urban and Regional Planning, I am pleased to present to you the graduating classes for the following programs. First, the Diploma in Urban and Regional Planning, Class 2020. Second, the Diploma in Urban and Regional Planning, Class 2021. Third, the Master of Arts in Urban and Regional Planning, Class 2020. Fourth, Master of Arts in Urban and Regional Planning, Class 2021. Fifth, the Master of Science in Regional Development Planning, Class 2020. And lastly, our lone graduate are the Doctor of Philosophy, Urban and Regional Planning, Class 2021. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Yap. We have an outstanding number of candidates for graduation this year. Wisdom is something that is shared. Each year, we invite distinguished guests to impart their broad knowledge, experience, and perspective to our candidates. To introduce our guest speaker today, let us listen to our reputable Director for Research and Publications, Dr. Dani VI P.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Our honorable guest completed his Bachelor of Science in Mechanical Engineering at Adamson University. He graduated with a bachelor's degree in military science and belonged to the 1980 class Mapitagan of the Philippine Military Academy. He is a holder of 2 master's degrees in public administration from the Philippine Christian University in 2012 and business administration from the Ateneo Graduate School of Business in 1994. Our esteemed speaker is a retired Major General in the Armed Forces of the Philippines with more than 3 decades of experience in the military. He also occupied key positions as General Officer in Charge of the Southern Luzon Command, Commander of the 2nd Infantry Division of the Philippine Army. In 2012, he led the Task Force Kalihim for the search and retrieval operations for the remains of the late Department of Interior and Local Government Secretary Jess M. Robredo. He was given the Bakas Parangal ng Kabayanihan for accomplishing this mission. After he retired from the military, he was appointed as the administrator of the Office of Civil Defense, while concurrently serving as the Executive Director of the National Disaster Risk Reduction and Management Council from February 2013 to May 2014. On June 30, 2016, he was appointed as Undersecretary for Civil, Veterans, and Retiree Affairs of the Department of National Defense, a position he held until his appointment to HUDC. This molded our speaker's advocacy on resiliency and sustainability that centers on building adequate, livable, affordable, and inclusive Filipino communities. He is also the head of Task Force Bangon Marawi, mandated to oversee the rebuilding and rehabilitation of Marawi City. On July 12, 2017, he was appointed as chairman of the Housing and Urban Development Coordinating Council and as ad interim secretary of the newly created DSUD on January 4, 2020. He also served as the chairman of the 11-member Pag-ibig Fund Board of Trustees. The breadth of experience of our speaker defined his advocacy on public governance and expanse of understanding about the operations of key shelter agencies. This strengthens partnership and closer ties of the department with stakeholders in the housing sector to include developers and environmental planners in pursuing human settlements and urban development in the Philippines and in crafting the 20-year National Housing Roadmap of DSUD. As the chief of DSUD, our speaker chairs the National Human Settlements Board with 10 other member departments and key shelter agencies. Ladies and gentlemen, I am honored and privileged to introduce to you our guest speaker, the first Secretary of the Department of Human Settlements and Urban Development, Honorable Eduardo Drueco del Rosario.
Professor Dr. Hussein S. Lidasan, Dean of the UP School of Urban and Regional Planning, former Deans of UP Urban and Regional Planning, esteemed faculty members, staff, proud parents and loved ones, dear graduates, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. My sincerest congratulations to all. I applaud the professors and mentors for overcoming the hurdles of e-learning, especially the uncertainties brought about by the pandemic. I commend the parents and loved ones of the graduates for their unending support, and most of all, I congratulate our dear graduates for earning your degree despite overwhelming odds. Your batch is unlike any other, for you have endured years of hard work and successfully completed all your academic requirements amidst the pandemic. The sublime you were today is truly worth the long and hard academic journey. As your degrees are conferred, some of you may already be thinking your career paths. You are already equipped with the right knowledge. What you do from this point onward is entirely your choice. And I am certain that many of you will opt to further hone your expertise and contribute to the field of planning. The role of planners is truly challenging. You are about to embark on the most complex and at times frustrating path in a world where the field of planning can prove to be overwhelming. This is also where you are most needed. Today's society is faced with all kinds of challenges that would have been unimaginable a few decades back. Taking on the challenge requires heart or puso, something that resonates to every scope and every scan. We at the Department of Human Settlements and Urban Development know and understand this, since this should is mandated to provide adequate, affordable, resilient, and sustainable housing communities to all Filipinos, especially the underprivileged. This entails taking on the daunting task of meeting our housing gap of about 6.5 million. To us, this is not just a figure we need to close, as each household represents a family needing a roof over their heads for safety and security. This is precisely why we do not stop at just providing basic shelter. The department is well aware of the rising problem of climate change and how it impacted and contributed to the housing problems in our country. Not only housing locations need meticulous selection and vetting, but the structures now need to be resilient due to climate change and natural disasters. The department recognizes the need to innovate and focus on ensuring that housing units are structurally sound as well. We realize now that more than ever how imperative it is for each Filipino family to have a house of their own. The COVID-19 pandemic has shown us how planning for communities can be transformed by just a single event that wreaked havoc on all sectors. Natural disasters challenge us to come up with better and safer solutions for communities. Climate change has driven us to design more sustainably for future generations. These phenomena have pushed us to reimagine the way we plan for more sustainable communities. We are now looking into housing settlements that are more energy efficient and utilizing locally sourced low-carbon materials. Innovative programs and green initiatives are only a few of the numerous efforts launched by the department to ensure that all Filipinos live in a safe and sustainable environment. Our job and vision may be tough, but it is the small victories that continuously encourage us to fulfill our mandate. Every accomplishment, big or small, reinforces our commitment to work even harder. Because we know that at the end of the day, every unit of housing turned over to homeowners will become a safe haven, their home. Kanlungan is this year's university graduation theme, and Kanlungan connotes shelter. The university has cradled and nurtured the sharpest minds of the country, and in the past year, it has provided refuge to those in need. In the same way that we at this should take to heart our mandate of providing kanlungan or shelter to the Filipino people, especially the poor and marginalized. For this is our way of contributing to a more sustainable future for our country. So, dear graduates, I hope that you will always remember to plan with a heart. Always put our countrymen first in all that you do. May your contribution to the field of planning always be marked with honor and excellence. And may you always make your school and family proud. Once again, my sincerest congratulations to the graduates of the UP School of Urban and Regional Planning. Maraming salamat at mabuhay.
Thank you very much, Secretary Del Rosario, for being an inspiration and an encouragement to our candidates. At this moment, let us pause for a few minutes and be dazzled by a special performance prepared by one of our students here in SURP.
I close my eyes and I can see a world that's waiting up for me, that I call my own. Through the dark, through the door, through where no one's been before, but it feels like home. They can say it all sounds crazy. They can say I've lost my mind. I don't care if they call me crazy. We can live in a world that we decide. 'Cause every night I lie in bed, the brightest color fill my head. A million dreams are keeping me awake. I think about the world could be a vision of the one I see. A million dreams is all it's gonna take. A million dreams for the world we gonna make. There's a house we can build. Every room inside is filled with things from far away. Special things I compile, each one there to make you smile on a rainy day. They can say it all sounds crazy. They can say we've lost our minds. See, I don't care if they call us crazy. Run away to the world that we decide. 'Cause every night I lie in bed, the brightest colors fill my head. A million dreams are keeping me awake. I think of what the world could be, a vision of the one I see. A million dreams is all it's gonna take. A million dreams for the world.
Thank you very much for that wonderful number. For the highlight of our program, I have the honor to introduce the candidates for graduation for academic years 2019 to 2020 and 2020 to 2021. These students deserve recognition for satisfactorily completing the requirements for their respective degrees. As a token, each graduate will receive a commemorative pin from the school to serve as a memento and a reminder of this momentous event. The graduates with diploma in urban and regional planning for the academic year 2019 to 2020.
Rachel Janine D. Abuel. Likha Malay C. Alcantara. Joshua James C. Alvarez. Diana B. Andino. Beatriz Yula S. Angala. Helen Grace A. Antonio. Nicolo Veo Alejandro M. Aragon. Alea Carmela E. Arca. Jonah Marie O. Baclig. Charmen A. Balana. Christian V. Bederico. Richard John C. Calawagan. Erwin James G. Kaluwag. Grefly L. Carlos. Julan D. Castro. Samantha R. Cinco. Luis Marco A. Concepcion. Katrina Denise M. Corpus. John Moses S. Cruz. Julius Michael M. Dagdag. Ed Christopher S. David. Romary A. de Guzman. Marion Roel S. Dimain. Marjorie Cristel L. Dizon. Ruby Jane M. Duot. Lori Ann A. Dusaran. Maria Dani V. P. Edrad. Jasmine B. Eliazar. Marie Angelique R. Estipona. Mariel A. Evasco. Bernadette Ann G. Franco. Paulo Israel S. Franco. Reggie Marie S. Gabales. Zyron Angelo R. Galang. Lloyd Andrew V. Gallego. Jaisel Jam Garcia, Jose Angelo I. Junio, Maria Jacinta K. Lagunera, Rafaela May M. Landayan, Chara Semera A. Las, Curl Winston P. Layugan, Elisander L. Limlingan, Joanna Rose D. Locsin, Sabrina Fair Therese D. Losa, Christine Grace K. Marvilla, Karen Joy S. Mongcopa, Manuel M. Muhi, Marlon T. Natividad, Anne Clarice L. Nang, Rosel S. Perucho, Austin Reynino O. Reyes, Wilma S. Rojas, Maria Bianca Katrina A. Sanchez, Eris S. Sangkiangco, Awoyungbo Leke Sunaike, Carlo Ray I. Tanodra, Christine Joy S. Timoteo, Romina Grace G. Vera, Justin Gerard G. Villanueva,
The graduates with master's degree in Urban and Regional Planning for the academic year 2019 to 2020.
Maria Cristina Alombro Akbar, Jeremir R. Andres, Aryan Gale R. Balbedina, Marie Edralyn B. Belga, Oscar Conrad P. De Jesus, Jolly Maria P. Dinamling, Joeline N. Marty, Angeline C. Ramos, John Kenneth C. Salvacion, Christian Kelvin V. Tagnipez, Marites T. Tamayo, Kevin Nicole S. Vega,
The graduates with master's degree in Regional Development Planning for the academic year 2019 to 2020.
Sheila Oside Alumasa, Ana Clara da Costa Marcal, Iris Catherine Quintana Miralles. Daniela Victoria Sanchez Sanchez.
The graduates with Diploma in Urban and Regional Planning for the academic year 2020 to 2021.
Fe Isabel A. Adarne. Gladys A. Agbu. Jenny Theresa A. Agu. Jalbert Aguinaldo. Alex M. Alazada. Monica R. Alfante. Ralph Jerome T. Alvanis. Carla Marie M. Anyago. Crystal Jade P. Anyore. Liedi Elvina Q. Antonio. Ricardo O. Apo. Joan D. Araiza. Juan Armando V. Arcega. Patricia Adrian R. Arcelo. Alvin Lee C. Asuro. Jessa May S. Avenido. Ali Fatima E. Bahoy. Armando B. Balasbas. Danica Ray C. Baldomero. Mark Joseph F. Balyeras. Christine Ann M. Banyo. Roja Gia S. Bation. Daniel K. Bayona III. Maria Armin C. Berdan. Romel U. Bobiles. Daniel Raymart G. Bonifacio. Ameline Cadiz. Javier Angelo F. Camacho. Maxine Claire P. Canlas. Angelica K. Cariaso. Miavel D. Carion. Marie Dominic D. Castillo. Fiona Ira P. Serdan. Zeth Reverick C. Chua. Mikhail Kevin D. Cruz. Nathaniel P. Cruz. Edmund Dwayne N. De Mesa. Charles P. De Rojas. Merlif Mikhail C. De Los Santos. Jean Abigail May Diaz, Regine Ann D. Ferma, Nicole Fikingas, Mark Anthony A. Francisco, Gabriel Adel V. Gaerlan, Jean Lambert R. Giron, Raymart Ryan D. Geliartes, Raven E. Hipolito, Marco Antonino A. Javier, Jenny G. Hudan, Brian Julius S. Laksamana, Joshua R. Ladia, Edmund M. Lahara, Joed H. Magtibay, Ivane Grace D. Mananguit, Musainda Sirikit F. Mexico, Regina Victoria S. Mora, Lian Abigail T. Munoz, Maria Anita N. Negranza, Sherlyn A. Onate, John David O. Oyek, Robert H. Paano, Jemima Karen G. Pabiona, May Angelica G. Radam, Melanie Joy A. Razon, Kimberly Shane P. Recto, Marlon M. Sakdalan, Arachari C. Salcedo, Maria Cristel A. San Antonio, Kim Joseph M. Santos, Regina Salve G. Senyoran, John Leonard O. Serrano, Jomel P. Solano, Irish Ann S. Suarez, Dazel A. Sumagaysay, Romely May M. Tamares, Roslane Camille S. Tamina, Vincent C. Uliero, Monica A. Umali, Hannah Grace P. Vargas, Veronica Joy U. Villafuerte, Diane Moritz P. Zapata,
the graduates with master's degree in urban and regional planning for the academic year 2020 to 2021.
Elmer L. Abu, Rona May G. Fabula Tabangay, Lionel John A. Francisco, Kevin J. R. Hinalo, Carlene Ann Ibanez, Olivia M. Lauron, Aaron Julius M. Lecciones, Matthew Harvey T. Peralta, Jamil Vanessa E. Saplagio, Joseph G. Taluban Jr., Caroline C. Orbien, Jasmine Marie G. Ursia,
The graduate with doctoral degree in urban and regional planning for the academic year 2020 to 2021.
Alyosha Ezra C. Malyari,
We are now at the most exciting part of the program, which is the awarding of Dean's Medallion for Academic Excellence. This award is given to each deserving student who has shown an exemplary academic performance and maintained a weighted average of 1.25 or better. Should not have been proven guilty of any offense involving moral turpitude. No grades of 4.0 and 5.0. Must have completed all the academic requirements within the allowable time limit, not exceeding maximum residency and/or re-entry status. Must not have a fail mark in the comprehensive examinations and defense of thesis or dissertation. The Dean's Medallion awardees for the academic year 2019 to 2020 with Diploma in Urban and Regional Planning.
Paulo Israel S. Franco, Likha Malay C. Alcantara, Romina Grace G. Vera, Carlo Ray I. Tanodra, Christine Joy S. Timoteo, Jasmine B. Eliazar, Diana B. Andino, Romary A. De Guzman, Marion Roel S. Dimain, Bernadette Ann G. Franco, Elisander L. Limlingan, Erwin James G. Kaluwag, Rachel Janine D. Abuel, Jose Angelo I. Junio, Richard John C. Kalawagan, Mariel A. Evasco, Eris S. Sangkiangco, Alea Carmela E. Arca, Marie Angelique R. Estipona, Joanna Rose D. Locsin.
The Dean's Medallion awardees for the academic year 2019 to 2020 with a degree in Master of Arts in Urban and Regional Planning.
Joeline N. Marty, John Kenneth C. Salvacion, Jeremy R. Andres, Angeline C. Ramos,
The Dean's Medallion awardees for the academic year 2020 to 2021 with Diploma in Urban and Regional Planning.
Regina Victoria S. Mora, Marco Antonino A. Javier, Ara Charis C. Salcedo, Marie Dominic D. Castillo, Kim Joseph M. Santos, Edmund Dwayne N. De Mesa, Raven E. Hipolito, Fiona Ira P. Cerdan, Nicole Fiquingas, Monica R. Alfante, Raymart Ryan D. Guillartes, Mark Anthony A. Francisco, Joshua R. Ladia, Vincent C. Uliero, Angelica K. Cariaso, Lian Abigail T. Munoz, Diane Moritz P. Zapata, Javier Angelo F. Camacho, Irish Ann S. Suarez, Robert H. Paano, Gladys A. Agbu, Maria Cristel A. San Antonio, Miavel D. Carion, Merlif Mikhail C. De Los Santos, Brian Julius S. Laksamana, Alvin Lee C. Asuro, Melanie Joy A. Razon, Veronica Joy U. Villafuerte, Regine Ann D. Ferma, Fe Isabel A. Adarne, Crystal Jade P. Anore, Armando B. Balasbas, Christine Ann M. Banyo, Maria Armin C. Berdan, Ameline Cadiz, Jean Abigail May Diaz, Jomel P. Solano, Dazzle A. Sumagaysay, Hannah Grace P. Vargas, Monica A. Umali.
The Dean's Medallion awardees for the academic year 2020 to 2021 with a degree in Master of Arts in Urban and Regional Planning.
Matthew Harvey T. Peralta, Kevin J. R. Hinalo, Rona May G. Fabula Tabangay.
At this point of the program, I am honored to have this opportunity to recognize the remarkable students who have earned staggeringly high general weighted average among their batch. Truly, they have inspired their friends, colleagues, and professors and made their own families very proud. To share about their inspiring academic journey, first let us hear the response from Ms. Regina Victoria S. Mora for the Diploma in Urban and Regional Planning.
Good day to everyone, professors, esteemed faculty members, batchmates, and classmates. It is an honor to be able to speak before you today as we celebrate this milestone in our academic and professional careers. I'm sure my fellow graduates can relate when I say that my experience at UP SURP was not at all what I expected. The COVID-19 pandemic hit us hard in many ways, and our plan for graduate studies was no exception. Above the regular load of juggling both work and school, our class had to endure a heavy transition towards figuring out how to manage life in a pandemic. We struggled through Zoom fatigue, faulty internet connections, figuring out how to share screen through Zoom, and helping our dear professors to do the same. More than this, many of us struggled through unexpected mental loads of personal grief and sorrow for our loved ones and our countrymen. To my fellow graduates, I want you to know that what we've accomplished today is something big, despite all the odds, and that we should all be proud of ourselves. Thank you for enriching my SURP experience through our class discussions, group meetings, at mga kwentuhan natin sa Zoom kapag nakaalis na si Prof. I look forward to meeting you all in person during better times. Thank you also to our tireless professors who have struggled just as much as we have. Thank you for your guidance and for your understanding, especially to those who went out of their ways to mentor us despite the limitations of the online classroom setup. On behalf of my fellow graduates, I'd like to say that your efforts are very much appreciated and that we are grateful for the opportunity to learn from you. There's a quote I remember every time I feel as though I've accomplished a scholarly milestone. The more you know you don't know, as once said by Aristotle. Once again, today, this resonates with me as I look back at my 1.5 years at UP SURP. I feel wiser not only because of the knowledge I've gained, but more importantly because I'm more aware of the things I've yet to understand. As I move on to the next chapter, continuing my studies at SURP, I finished this program with a better understanding of the work cut out for us as urban planners and as advocates for better and more humane cities. Beyond amassing knowledge, now more than ever, I hope we all strive to find opportunities to put our learnings into actions and to be true scholars for this nation. Salamat at magandang araw sa lahat.
Next, let us hear the response from Ms. Joeline N. Marty for the Master of Arts in Urban and Regional Planning.
A pleasant day to everyone at the University of the Philippines School of Urban and Regional Planning. To our Dean, Dr. Hussein Sinsuat Lidasan, Guest Speaker Secretary Eduardo D. Del Rosario of the Department of Human Settlements and Urban Development, professors, staff, family, friends, guests, and most of all, to the distinguished SURP Batch 2020. I am truly honored to be in this position to represent the SURP Batch 2020 graduates in this short speech. Thank you so much for this once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to share my thoughts as a graduate of Urban and Regional Planning. The beginning of the year 2020 was filled with high hopes and big plans, especially for our batch. This was supposed to be the time when we would be conferred our diploma, master, and doctorate degrees after marching with our batchmates, some of whom were total strangers at the start, but eventually established strong friendship ties with us, while others have been our friends since the undergraduate years. We were supposed to live the life we have always dreamed of after graduation. Everything was going well, until the pandemic came. With just a snap of the fingers, our lives changed. The mundanity of everyday life slowly became a kind of longing that everyone wished to have relished more before things went downhill with the spread of the virus. Many dreams were delayed and much worse, halted. And at the same time, so many plans were shelved or went down the drain. Plan. That is probably the word closest to our hearts as graduates of the premier state university's School of Urban and Regional Planning. But what does it really mean to have a plan? Or even to be involved in the planning process in this time of uncertainty? Does having a plan automatically translate to being prepared? Does preparedness require a certain level of planning at the minimum? Many of us faced the first few months of the pandemic lost, confused, unprepared, and without any plans at all. It seemed like the world started to cave in and crumble right before our very eyes. A lot of people, specifically those in the informal economy sector, lost their sources of income. Medical supplies and hospital beds ran short, while legions swarmed into groceries and supermarkets, scrambling for their own personal supplies. The ranks of those working in the front lines were thinning out rather rapidly compared to the number of patients they need to serve. Everything was chaotic and majority of the population was disoriented. This was the common everyday scene we witnessed early last year. But based on the Darwinian theory of evolution and the cultural anthropological lens where human beings are considered the most adaptable species by virtue of high intelligence, we were able to make all the necessary adjustments required to make things just bearable at the least. Authorities started to plan and implement lockdowns in high-risk areas while ensuring that the minimum health protocols were followed. The medical field upped their ante to respond to the increasing number of cases that must be attended while protecting their own ranks. The private sector also took their own course of action to cater to the needs of their employees and consumers. Communities, families, and individuals began planning their daily activities to avoid contracting the virus and to help curb its spread. Every action and reaction were based on what was required at that time. And the effectiveness of the plans each decision-making level made along the way was assessed and then improved or maintained. Everyone and everything gravitated towards painstaking, detailed, and fast-paced planning. The plan was and remains at the center of the stage. Planning is deeply embedded in our daily routines, even in the simplest of things. We may be doing it consciously or unconsciously, for ourselves, for our family, friends, and other people in the community, and for the country. It may be sophisticatedly detailed or simply easygoing, but all plans, big and small, can create impact. The continuing onslaught of the pandemic brought out a panoply of the best and the worst planning practices in our arsenal. Some sectors of the society had some advantages, while others were not able to receive the same number of benefits. But then again, there goes the question. Plans are formulated by whom and for whom? In the past year and a half, we were made to witness and to affirm the indispensability of a good planning system and the creation of good plans in addressing not only the implications of this health situation, but also the broader economic, social, physical, institutional, and environmental effects in the society. The current condition also highlighted the various important roles of planners, such as visionary thinkers who are looking not only at the present, but also at the future needs of the people way beyond after this crisis. Effective communicators of the visions, motivations, and aspirations of the communities and their people. Mediators to manage and resolve conflict that might emerge. Coalition builders to establish coordination and unity among different sectors and the government to achieve common goals. And advocates to put forward the concerns and interests of the disenfranchised, underrepresented, and excluded. All these at the height of complex and turbulent pandemic handling in the country and in the whole world. In the context of managing the COVID-19 situation, emergency planning has become more urgent, relevant, and handy. But at the same time, in other areas, it has been overlooked, underfunded, and disregarded. The planners, despite their areas of specialization, are providing their knowledge, skills, and even their own resources to the collective effort in responding to the challenges of these times. How commendable it truly is to see our fellow planning practitioners spending their time and effort in such a meaningful and noble cause. The planning profession has existed for such a long time and has already significantly contributed to the advancement of human civilization. But new phenomena continue to rise and pose challenges to us, aiming to tremble and crumble the foundations and practices that have been there since time immemorial. These good old planning tools have been proven to be useful and effective in the past. But now that we are faced with new matters to deal with, some new ways of thinking and doing, in combination with foresight, would be helpful in addition to what's been tried and tested. There will always be some room for innovation and creativity in the realm of planning. Amidst all the difficulties, planners must remain grounded, become flexible and creative when battling head-on with various tribulations, and possess a heart that strives to make the world a better place to live in, as cliché as it may sound. Borrowing a quote from Nelson Mandela, our human compassion binds us the one to the other, not in pity or patronizingly, but as human beings who have learned how to turn our common suffering into hope for the future. As planners of and for the people, let us hold steadfast to our values and principles, and use everything we have to serve the people wherever we may be. We should be able to provide the right types of plans to the right planning jurisdictions using the right resources at the right time. Because in the end, our success and those of the plans we created can only be measured by the extent of understanding, support, and buy-in of the society. Thank you so much for watching. Let's keep working to reach the end of this pandemic. Please stay safe and healthy, everyone.
Lastly, let us hear the response from Dr. Alyosha Ezra C. Malyari for the Doctor of Philosophy in Urban and Regional Planning.
Dean Dr. Hussein Ledasan, Director of Graduate Studies Dr. David Yap, my dissertation advisor Dr. June Castro, faculty members, parents, fellow graduates, a pleasant day to all of you. Let me begin by quoting meaningful lines by Chief Seattle, an Indian chief. I quote, "The earth does not belong to man, man belongs to earth. Whatever befalls the earth, befalls the sons of the earth. Man did not weave the web of life, he is merely a strand in it. Whatever he does to the web, he does to himself," unquote. These words of wisdom can serve as our guide in our future practice as urban and environmental planners. Our academic training is our preparation for our calling to assist in achieving the overriding goal of utilizing land in the most prudent way possible. We need to respect the land, to quote Chief Seattle again. Our education has put us in this position so that we can assume such responsibility, to plan and to care for the land that sustains our very life. We are called urban and environmental planners. Implicit in this description is the expectation that we shall be frontliners in solving problems related to urbanization, traffic congestion, resource depletion, and everything else related to the words urban and environment. We therefore have to brace ourselves even as we leave this university to fulfill our role because so much is expected of us. We definitely feel a tremendous pressure as we foresee the challenge of dealing with the ecologically fragile land of our country. We also have to face the demands of rapid changes ahead. Since our country is developing, we need to provide a suitable perspective in planning to avoid the shockwaves of economic growth that put so much strain on the environment. With the present trends of overcrowding in urban areas, degradation of the environment, upsetting of the climate, sustainable development has been a battle cry of many concerned people. But to us, that formidable concept is our mandate, our responsibility, our vision. We aim to concretize the abstract phrase, and we know that development could be lastingly successful only to the extent that it conforms to the need for a better human environment. This is the course which we shall strive and give our best effort to follow. Admittedly, our task is difficult. We are expected to plan, to determine in advance possible interventions into natural and other systems to ascertain conditions favorable to the quality of life of our people. Although we have already obtained the requisite knowledge, we still need to continue exerting systematic and creative effort to make our job worthwhile. I have been prompted to chart the career path that I am going to take and the contribution that I can offer as a PhD graduate. Honestly, at this point, I am just enjoying my hobby, wall climbing, using my self-designed wall constructed in our backyard. To keep my sanity during this pandemic, particularly when I went through the grueling stage of dissertation writing, wall climbing was and has been my outlet, my means of escape from my struggles. Nothing can be more fun than applying the techniques of climbing and being physically fit. I have been so passionate about this hobby that I even created my own YouTube channel, and at some point, I even thought of being an influencer to be my main source of living in the future. Kidding aside, I see myself as a planner seeking to promote proper stewardship of land. I concur with Chief Seattle's thoughts about the preciousness of land and the dire consequences of misusing or disrespecting it. Thus, land use planning is of prime value. In that regard, I hope to live up to the calling of an effective land use planner. My dissertation has been written in response to the local planning needs and in my desire to contribute to sustainable urban development by means of its chosen approach. It is about modeling, specifically the multi-agent model of land use change. The model has a considerable promise, taking into consideration the important role of agents who can contribute to the promotion of innovative planning. How their collaborative participation in the conduct of a study using the model can help improve the land use planning system, particularly in the Philippines, is my area of inquiry. Its ability to simulate future scenarios of land use can guide planners in coming up with planning and policy options. To explore possible future scenarios in the land use system, the multi-agent model can be introduced as a relatively advanced support tool that brought in perceptually driven inputs and technical simulations, conceptualizing and integrating the interrelationship between actors, driving forces, land use changes, and planning methods are essential for understanding spatial development processes, which in turn may expand further the perspective of land use planners and policymakers. Since the model, as previously mentioned, makes the simulations closer to reality, it provides a natural description of a system and can bring considerable advantage when applied to the urban Philippine land use planning system. The application of this approach demonstrates that new scientific approaches in Philippine land use planning will enable those who will use them to design and conduct studies more effectively and address the needs of the land use system of the country more systematically. It is safe to assume that those involved in land use planning in the country, whether theoreticians or practitioners, agree that a basic goal of land use planning is to promote public interest and general welfare. This goal is indicative of an admonition for a developmental paradigm in land use planning. In the context of increasingly human-environment interaction and widening urbanization, certain methodological refashioning of current approaches to the country's land use system may be called for. My study has attempted to provide a new method to be in sync with the needed, innovative model. My dissertation, in a sense, is critically important not only as a fulfillment of the academic requirement, but also as a relatively fresh contribution to land use planning in our country, and I look forward to applying it in other areas as well. But my dissertation and the degree that I have obtained do not really define me as a person. Let me emphasize that it is not just our academic accomplishments which matter as we leave our alma mater. I think it is the sharpening of our mind to discern the more important things in life, like values and the building of our character, our humanity, as we endeavor to face challenges which matter most. In closing, I wish to mention the movie Paper Chase. It is quite instructive. The main character is a Harvard student who tried to excel in his studies to the point of having to suffer tremendously as he struggled against many odds. In the end, when he received that piece of paper containing his high grades, he made a paper airplane out of it and sent it out to the ocean. As the title of the movie implies, his realization of his paper chase gave him a deeper sense of life, more wisdom for that matter. Hopefully, we are not just chasing a diploma, a piece of paper that we can also make into a paper airplane. If that is the case, what we should have pursued through our years in the university is education in its highest sense. Heightened awareness of our goal as future planners, a long-term commitment to our stewardship of our land and its resources. With singleness of purpose, we shall chase innovative planning methods to be competently and practically applied in national and local planning offices. We shall be planners offering faithful service to our people, charting directions beneficial to our nation. Fellow graduates, I congratulate you. May we all have the fervor to serve our country. Gumawa ng mahusay na plano para sa bayan. Maraming salamat. Mabuhay po kayo.
Thank you for those wonderful responses from our top graduates. The University of the Philippines Alumni Association, or UPAA, is the official umbrella organization of all UP alumni and alumni chapters in the Philippines and abroad. The UPAA has continuously undertaken several projects to promote excellence in teaching, research, and extension services. Joining us today is the president of the UPAA SURP chapter, Environmental Planner Senon Walde, for the induction of the graduating class to the organization.
Isang magandang araw po sa lahat. Mula po sa pamunuan ng UP Alumni Association, SURP Chapter, binabati po namin kayo. Kami po ay nagagalak at madagdagan ang miyembro ng ating samahan. Dala ang inyong karanasan at kagalingan, sama-sama nating paunlarin ang SURP community. Samahan niyo kami sa pagbabalangkas ng kinabukasan ng ating Alumni Association. Kaya po, inimbitahan po namin kayo sa panunumpa bilang miyembro ng UPAA SURP Chapter. Itaas po natin ang ating kanang kamay sa ayos ng panunumpa. Ako, sabihin po ang ating buong pangalan, ay buong lugod na nanunumpa sa harap ng bandila ng UPAA SURP Chapter na makikiisa sa mga adhikain at mga tuntunin
na itinalaga at ipapatalaga pa ng mga namumuno ng samahan ngayon at sa mga darating na panahon.
Nangangako ako na makikibahagi sa mga programang ilalahad ng pamunuan.
Alinsunod sa mga pamamaraang demokratiko, makadiyos, makabayan, at makakalikasan.
Tutulong ako sa pagpapalawig ng mga alituntunin at pamamaraan na magpapalakas ng samahan ng mga nagsipagtapos o alumni sa School of Urban and Regional Planning.
Kung lakas kong pagtitibayin ang aking mga sinumpaang pangako sa harap ng mga tagapamahala ng samahang ito, kasama na ang pamunuan ng SURP.
Kasihan sana ako ng Diyos, tagapaglikha at tagapagligtas.
Pwede na po nating ibaba ang ating kamay. Congratulations, everyone! Muli, isang pagbati. Welcome to the UPAA SURP Chapter.
As we end our journey here in SURP, we are also commencing another chapter in our lives filled with hope and opportunities. Let us continue to use our knowledge and profession to advocate for enhanced planning in our communities towards a more sustainable life for everyone. Congratulations to all the UP SURP graduates of batches 2019 to 2020 and 2020 to 2021.